You can. Okay, guys. Hello, happy Thursday. I was just saying before we hit the record button, if you guys are looking for really, really, like if you're not a huge reader, but you can handle like books in small doses, John Maxwell, who is just amazing when it comes to leadership, when it comes to learning about success, all of that goodness. He has these little books. They're awesome. And they are like things you could probably read in like a night or two. But they're so amazing. And I'm actually going to be, so one of them just got in the airport. I always grab one of his little books when I'm in the airport. And the one I just got is it's called How Successful People Grow. And I read it literally in a matter of like a day. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such good stuff. I've got to talk about it on the Thursday Zoom because the biggest reason, and I think most of you guys are stuck, if you feel stuck, or if maybe you came in stuck, or maybe you had came in and you were like, oh my God, this is amazing, and then you kind of hit a wall. The main reason I usually find that people are stuck is because they literally they're only growing as far as their belief level in themselves is growing. And we all have belief issues, every single one of us. Like, we all have those days where we're like, can I do this? Maybe it's not for me. Am I good at this? I mean, I've been doing network marketing now for 13 years, and I've been blessed to have two successful businesses, and I still hit walls with belief levels. Um, it's crazy because the other day I had said something to one of my leaders, and I'm like, oh, I'll never make the money that Maria Dillard makes, which Maria is the top earner in this company. She's our upline. And she was like, why? You're making the money you make now. Why could you never make the money she's making? And like, there's like this belief, um, I don't know, belief block that for some reason, how can I get there? And I remember coming into this industry 13 years ago, and I just wanted to make an extra $500 a month, like, mostly because I didn't believe that more than that was possible. How many of you are on tonight and you just don't believe that you could ever be a 200K? You don't believe that you could be a 12K. You don't believe that you could be an 80K. Like, there's got to be a place inside each and every person on this call that something in you is saying, well, maybe I could be 200K, but I'd never be a millionaire. Or there's always a place, right? We all have a place where I believe this, but I don't believe I could do that. And the biggest reason, and I believe with all my heart, that when I see someone struggling, when I see them knowing what they need to do, right? It's one of two reasons why they're not pushing past that to that next level. And one of those is belief that they can do it, belief in themselves. And the next part of that is consistency in action of what they need to be doing daily. And if you don't have any belief in yourself, then you are going to make excuses for why you can't do those daily consistent actions. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about tonight, because at the end of the day, I truly believe you're only going to grow as far as your belief has grown in yourself. And belief is something that absolutely 1000% can grow. You're not stuck wherever you are. Like, it's not, well, that would never happen for me. I'm not like this person. Maybe I'm not as outgoing. I don't know as many people. Sales isn't my thing, so I could never be. Listen, you guys, I came in and I literally thought, I'm not a salesperson. I don't have time for this. I'm only going to probably make an extra couple $100. Like, I won't be one of those people that actually get really far. Only a couple people do that. Like, I said all of those things. But as I started to see small successes, that belief level started to grow. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, what if I don't see those small successes? How is my belief level started to grow? Well, my belief level had to start growing ahead of those successes, because if it didn't, I'd still be stuck. I'd still not be where I wanted to be and grow in this industry. So I definitely want to start off with the topic of belief. What are some tips? How can you believe in yourself? What does that mean? I think believe, I believe all people have the seeds of success within them. All of you have the seeds, right? All you need to do is you got to cultivate those seeds. You got to water them. You got to feed them, and they're going to grow. They will grow. So why do so many people fail to grow and reach their full potential? In my opinion, I think one of the main reasons, again, is low self-esteem and belief in yourself. Many people don't believe in themselves. They basically have things going on in their life, right, that have caused that belief level to not be there. Maybe it's how you grew up, what you did. I know for me, I was like, I didn't go to college. I'm not that smart. I hated school. Like, I just had a lot of, I was in a really crappy relationship for a very long time where somebody totally told me that I couldn't do and be more. And so a lot of the reason why we don't have belief in ourselves is based off of the people around us, who we're surrounding ourselves with. Hey, stop. Um, how we grew up, why we grew up, things that have happened in our past in our life, mistakes that we've made that we've held on to, and we think, God, we're just not worthy. That's what I thought. I'm not worthy. I remember when I first started making money, I was thinking, why me? Why am I here? I'm not anybody special. In fact, if people knew me, really knew me, I'd probably disappoint them. I mean, I have so many failures and mistakes and letdowns in my past that why me, right? Why am I finding the right people or moving up the ladder, or why am I seeing success? And there was a lot of belief missing. And until I could get over those roadblocks, I really had some issues. But I made a decision. And one of those decisions was to get that belief growing. And that's why you're going to hear us on Zooms and calls telling you to do things like, you know, dream boards, and get your gratitude journals out, and your I am statements, things like that. Because it may sound like, how are these little actions going to cause me to start believing in myself? How are these little actions going to cause my business to grow? Or whatever you're trying to improve in your life, how are these actions going to make that start to happen? And I promise you, they absolutely do, because your mind is a very, very powerful organ. Your mind, your brain is crazy. Your brain can make you believe anything it wants you to believe. I'll give you an example. I suffer from anxiety and panic attacks, and I will have an anxiety or a panic attack, and I literally will go from feeling anxious to the next thing I know, I've got pain in my arm. Then all of a sudden I can't breathe. I'm like running to the emergency room. And by the time I get there, all those symptoms are gone, right? My brain can make me have all of these symptoms because that is how truly powerful it is. That's how powerful your brain is. So if your brain, your mind, and the words you speak and the things coming out of your mouth, and the things you're constantly thinking are negative thoughts, I promise you that is all you're going to continue to keep getting. So belief in yourself, there's a lot of ways to start to change that the trajectory of the way you think. um if you guys don't realize that you guys have genuine value and that you are worth investing in, then you guys are never gonna put in the time and the effort you're gonna need to grow your business and to grow your potential. And if you're not sure, then I want you guys to consider some things. The first thing that I really want you to think about and consider is self-esteem is the single most important significant key to a person's behavior. Do you guys agree with that? Have you guys heard of Zig Ziglar? If you haven't, you can look him up. Somebody's always putting a quote out there by Zig Ziglar, but Zig Ziglar says it's impossible to consistently behave in a manner inconsistent with how we see ourselves. We can do very few things in a positive way if we feel negative about ourselves, right? And if you believe you are worthless, then you're not going to add value to yourself, to anyone else, to this business, to anything you try to do. Um, I also want you to consider that low self-esteem puts a ceiling on your potential. If your desire is a 10, but your self-esteem is a 5, you are never ever going to perform at the level of a 10. You'll perform as a 5 or lower. People are never ever able to outperform their self-image. Period. So if you think of yourself as a 5, how do you think you're ever going to be a 10? So I want you to consider this too. The value we place on ourselves is usually the value others place on us. I'm sorry to say this, but most people live their lives according to what others believe about them because they accept others eh, and their opinions as gospel, right? How we grew up, what the people in high school said about us, or what our parents told us, or what our so and so person said. We believe that as gospel. If the important people in your lives expect, if they expect you to go anywhere or go nowhere, what do you think they're going to say to you? Things that are going to make you want to go nowhere. That's fine if you guys surround yourself with people who don't choose to believe in you. But I can promise you that if you continue that trajectory of keeping those people in your ears in your life, it's going to be super hard for you to ever get to that 10, right? It's going to be super hard for you ever to get your self-esteem to that 10. You shouldn't become too concerned about what others are thinking of you guys. You should be more concerned about what you think of yourself. If you put a small value on yourself, rest assured the world is going to put that small value on you too. They're not going to raise the price, guys. If you want to become the person that you have the potential to be, you must believe you can. So I want to talk about, how do you do that? How do you build those steps to, number one, place value on yourself, help the low self-esteem, and basically surround yourself with new people? That's what we're going to talk a little bit about. So let's talk about the steps to build your self-image. Is self-image is a problem for you? If you don't believe you can succeed, I want you to take to heart the next 10 things I'm about to tell you. Okay, write them down. Number one is guard your self-talk. Whether you know it or not, you have a running conversation with yourself all the time. What is the nature of your running conversation? Think about it. Do you encourage yourself or do you criticize yourself? If you're positive, then you help to create a positive self-image. But if you're negative, you undermine your self-worth, guys. And I think we both do both. Absolutely. I think we both have those times, but you have to catch yourself because every single time, and I'm going to teach you an exercise for that, but we'll keep going. Hold on. If you guys want to change your lives, you have to change the way that you think of yourself. And if we want to change the way we think of ourselves, we need to change the way we talk to ourselves. And the older we are, the more responsible we are for how we think, talk, and believe. Don't you have enough problems in life already? Why add to them by discouraging yourself every day with negative self-talk? Become your own encourager, your own cheerleader. Every time you do, yay, sorry. Every time you guys do a good job, don't just let it pass. Give yourself a compliment. Every time you choose discipline over not discipline, don't not being disciplined, don't tell yourself that you should have anyway. Recognize how much you are helping yourself. Every time you guys make a mistake, don't bring up everything that's wrong with yourself. Tell yourself that you're paying the price for growth, right? That's what mistakes, growth, over and over again, making mistakes, learning from them. And that you're going to learn to do better the next time. And every positive thing you guys say to yourself, it's going to help. Um, one of the things that somebody told me a long time ago, was you cannot. It is impossible to have a positive thought and a negative thought at the very same time. Go ahead. Everybody try right now. Try to think about something positive and negative at the same time. It is impossible. Impossible. That is why one of the exercises that one of my mentors taught me literally 13 years ago when I started in this industry was catch yourself with these negative words that you might not even say them. You're thinking them though, right? Like you might say out loud, I'm going to be 4K. And the next thought that pops in your head is, I'll never be 4K. I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to find the right people. So it's not even important enough that you speak the words. It's important that you start to think those words. And so when I say you can't have a positive and a negative thought at the same time, I want you to try a practice, because this, I'm telling you, is so helpful. She told me, have a go-to thought, something positive in your life, something that makes you happy. Sorry, guys, my dogs. Something that makes you happy, something that makes you excited, something that, it could be anything. Like maybe it's you when you were younger and your grandmother was pushing you on the swings and the way the flowers smelled and whatever. Something, go back to a time in your life that was happy, that was positive. Maybe it was a success you saw, something amazing you did. Whatever that is, have a couple go-to thoughts. And the second that your brain says anything negative, starts to go in a negative direction in any way, the second you start to think badly, poorly, anything, it could be, it's going to be a horrible day, anything, immediately go to that other thought. Immediately have those one or two go-to thoughts and think it over and over again. Try to imagine that time. Get out of that. May have your brain get out of that place, because like I told you, your brain is so powerful. And if you continuously practice that, eventually your brain is only going to start thinking of good things. It's going to push you in the direction of achieving your goals, of achieving your dreams. And I can't tell you enough why I'll tell people, I want you to go to the store and grab a bunch of sticky notes. You can, I think at the dollar store, you can probably get like 1,000 of sticky notes for 99 cents. Go there, and I want you to write down your next business goal on that. Maybe it's I want to get to 2K. Maybe it's I want to sign my first customer. Maybe it's I want to reach 12K and get the auto bonus. Whatever that next achievable goal is. You can't be a brand promoter and write I want to be a 200K on that sheet. No. What is the next achievable goal for you? It could be something just as simple as signing that first customer or thriving free. I want you to write it down on 20 sticky notes, 30 sticky notes, and I want you to put those sticky notes everywhere around your house. And the mirror where you get ready in the morning, stick one right there. Your computer at work, the back of your phone, on your TV, wherever, or when you open the refrigerator, on the butter dish, everywhere you go. I want you to have to read that sticky note all day long, because your brain is going to start believing that that goal is true. And once you can get your brain to believe it, then every action that you start taking, you are going to start making decisions in your life. They're going to shift you towards reaching that goal, because it's kind of your brain has made a decision. It's decided. Just like I told you guys with anxiety, I can start having an anxiety attack and I can immediately know this is what it is. I've been here before. And if I do these certain things, I can pull myself out of it. Or I can let it spiral. And the next thing I know, I'm in the emergency room thinking I'm having a heart attack for the 8th time. Like, your brain makes the decision, right? But practices, that's why they have people with anxiety do these practices. Like, have you ever held a felt, found? Basically, they will say, touch something around you, smell what are 5 things you can smell, 4 things you can see, 3 things you can touch. They have you do these things because your brain gets occupied, right? Your brain can't think anymore about all the horrible things that can happen if you're having an anxiety attack. Your brain now is going to start focusing on these other things, and it's going to pull you out. That is how powerful it is. So if that's true, why is it not true that getting up every morning and doing our gratitude, that getting up every morning and writing down our IAMs, that touching base with our positive mentors and uplines and tuning into calls like this and writing it out on our sticky notes and having our go-to thoughts when we think of something negative, why are those things not true? It is true. You just have to start believing, right? And that's what we're talking about right now, is that belief. Um, so the first thing again is, I hope you wrote it down, guard your self-talk. And there is a way to practice. Now, nobody's going to be perfect. I've been doing this 13 years. I've seen a lot of success in this industry, and I still have negative self-talk. And I still practice those things that I've learned many years ago in this industry. I still practice those same things today. I still have limiting beliefs that I need to overcome and get over. But you know what? I will overcome. I will get over. I did before and I will again. And so will you if you decide. The next thing I want you to write down is stop comparing yourself to others. This one's huge. Comparing yourself to others is really just it's a needless distraction. The only one you should be comparing yourself to is you. Your mission is to become better today than you were yesterday. You do that by focusing on what you can do today to improve yourself and grow. Do that enough, you guys, and if you look back and compare the you of weeks and then months and then years, you should be greatly encouraged by your progress and what you see. Here's the thing. It's super easy to start going, this person signed the same day as me, and look at, they're already a 4K and I haven't even signed my first customer, or I signed somebody up and they passed me. I must not be good at it. It's so easy to do those things and start comparing. Have you never heard that statement, comparison is the thief of joy? It is. All day long, we can always find somebody that did it better than us, that is smarter than us, that's farther along than us. Every person in the world can do this. You have to choose not to. Comparison is the thief of joy. So if you are comparing right now, you need to do whatever you can do to focus on yourself. If you know that you are making steps today that you weren't making yesterday, if you know you stepped out of your comfort zone a little bit more than last week, that is growth. And pat yourself on the back. The third thing I want you to write down is move beyond your limiting beliefs. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't believe that they can accomplish great things. And the greatest limitations people experience in their lives are usually the ones that they decided for themselves. Here's an example. Let's say that you would like to learn a foreign language, okay? And you basically have to go get the books, and you're going to get an online course and you're going to download this, and but then you say to yourself, I don't think I can do that. I don't think it's possible. I'm, 50 years old, and I there's no way I could learn another language. It would take too much time, too much energy. Once you guys you identified that belief, define how not learning that language is limiting you. And then I want you to describe what it would be like when you learn that language. How would it make you feel? What would it enable you to do? What maybe it would help this or that. Now transfer something like that to your career. What if you didn't have the limiting belief that you'll never be a 12K? What if you were a 12K? What would that do for your life? What would that auto bonus do? How would you think you would act as a 12K? Where do you think your beliefs would be? You have to move beyond your limiting beliefs. You need to write an empowering statement. I want all of you guys to do this tonight. You got to write an empowering statement that affirms your ability to learn how to get to 4K, how to get to 12K, how to get to 80K, wherever your next place is. Remember, in the end, it isn't what you are that holds you back, it's what you think you're not. That is what is holding you back. So I want you to write some kind of empowering statement that affirms your ability to get there, outlines the realistic process that you're going to have to learn and take, and describe how you're going to impact yourself and others by getting there. Again, in the end, it's not what is holding you back. It's what you think you're not. That's what's holding you back. And then the fourth thing I want you to write down is add value to others, because people with low self-esteem often see themselves as inadequate, or they feel like victims, which sometimes they are. Sometimes they've had pretty rough past and things have happened to them. Sometimes they were a victim, and they've been victimized in their past. The focus is always on you, because I can't do it. I'll never get there because this happened to me or that happened to me or I don't deserve it or I'm not worth it. At the end of the day, you basically need to try to combat those feelings by serving others and working to add value to other people, making a difference, even if it's a small one, in someone else's life. That lifts self-esteem. I promise you. You can never feel bad about yourself when you're doing something for someone else. It's hard to feel bad about yourself when you're doing something good for someone and you're adding value to their life. And it's going to add value to yours. It's going to create a cycle of positive feelings from one person to another. Listen, it doesn't have to be in your business. It doesn't have to be, you might not have anybody on your team yet. Go help a sideline, get advice from a sideline, plug into these calls, go do something for a stranger, a neighbor. You guys have to start realizing that by sharing the Thrive experience, by sharing this new challenge, by sharing our products, by sharing our rewards plan, that is changing lives. That is doing someone a favor. That's adding value to people. And just by every day adding value to someone in that way, even if they say no, you are still going to start grow inside. I promise you will. The fifth thing I want you to write down is do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing. Being true to yourself and your values, it's huge. It's tremendous. And it's a self-esteem builder. And every time you take action that builds your character, you're going to become stronger as a person. I promise you. You can actually act yourself into feeling good about yourself. Have you ever heard fake it till you make it? I promise. It really does work. Positive character expands into every area of your life and it gives you confidence and positive feelings about everything that you do. Choose right. Choose choose hard. Choose to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And then number 6 is practice anything, a small discipline daily in a specific area of your life. I don't care what it is, pick it and practice it. Maybe it's the gratitude in the morning. Maybe it's the I am statements. Maybe it's putting the sticky notes around. I don't care what that is, do it. If there is an area in your life that seems overwhelming to you, maybe it's health or work or family or something else. I don't know what it is for you. Try chipping away at it little by little every single day instead of trying to tackle it all at once. A lot of you are trying to do 20 things at once for this business and you're not getting anywhere because your time is spread. Most of you, I'm going to guess, you have a job, you have kids, you have a life that you have to keep going with the money you're making, and you're not making money yet with Lavelle, not enough to dedicate all your time. And so you kind of are doing way too much all over the place, but not enough of one thing consistently to get anywhere, if that makes sense. So I want you guys to pick something with your business, 1 or 2 things that you are going to stick with and do every single day without fail. And give it 6 months and see if that does not take you someplace. And don't get that messed up with very, very easy, you guys, to get actual income producing activities mixed up with just busy work. Okay. Busy work is getting on this Zoom tonight. No, listen, don't get me wrong. You need to be here. You need to be taking notes. But the action happens when you take something I've said today or something Katie's going to share with you. You take that and get off this Zoom and start applying it to your business. And that is what is going to make you grow. That is what's going to make you earn money. Just getting on this Zoom won't do that. So if you're like, well, I'm on 20 Zooms a week, well, awesome. But that is not going to grow your business unless you're actually applying and being consistent. So I want you guys to make a promise to yourself today that you are going to get consistent doing the right activities and not getting caught up in the small things. You got to do small discipline every day. Don't get caught up with doing too much all over the place and not enough consistency. The 7th thing is I want you to celebrate small victories. The next suggestion is really basically a follow-up to the one I just gave you, which is practice small disciplines daily. When you do these small disciplines, celebrate that you're doing them. Are your thoughts like these? Well, it's about time. I didn't do as much as I should have.
That won't make a difference. It's hopeless. I'll never succeed. Does that sound like you? Or does this sound like you? It's good that I did what I did. I did the right thing. Good for me. Every little bit helps. I'm that much closer to success. That's how you have to talk. You have to stop criticizing yourself and being mad at yourself for where you're not and talk about the wins, constant wins. Again, your brain can't have a thought, positive thought, and a negative thought at the same time. You can choose to say, but, well, I'm proud of myself today, but I wish I would have been doing it the past 3 months. No, I'm proud of myself today. I did great. Can't wait till tomorrow. There is the way you speak to yourself is absolutely everything. 8, I want you to write this down. Embrace a positive vision for your life based on what you value. If you guys have a positive vision for your life and you take action to fulfill that vision, then you will recognize that your life matters. What do you value? What what makes you excited? What's your why? What's your reasoning for wanting to make this Lavelle business work? Get a vision, write it down, know why you're doing this. And then number 9, practice the one word strategy. Okay. So this is coming directly out of this book. I'm going to read this verbatim. Practice the one word strategy. Um, he says, a couple of years ago, I read a book called Kevin Hall called Aspire, which really inspired me. One of my favorite passages in the book communicates something Kevin does to help people grow. Here it is. The first thing I do when I'm coaching someone who aspires to stretch, grow, and go higher in life is to have that person select the one word that best describes him or her best. Once that person does that, it's as if he or she has turned a page in a book and highlighted one word. Instead of seeing 300 different words on that page, the person's attention and intention is focused immediately on that single word, that single gift. What the individual focuses on expands. What do I like about this practice of picking one word? Well, because it tells you guys a lot about who you think you are or what you think of yourself. Try it. If you could pick only one word to describe yourself, has to be positive, okay? That's the point. What would it be? I hope it's positive, and if it is, it will help you go into the right direction. If it's not, then you need to change your word. If the first thing you go to when you think one word about yourself, if it's lazy, guess what? Not good. Like, I mean, if it's not a positive word, then you need to change your word. And then the last thing, um, I'm not even going to get to my second topic tonight. I'll do it next week, which is consistency. We'll talk about that next week and getting those daily habits down. But I'm going to pass it over to Katie in a second. But the last thing I want you to write down is number 10, which is take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for your life, yourself, your business. We tend to get in life what we are willing to tolerate. If we're going to allow others to disrespect us, then guess what? We're going to get disrespected. And if we tolerate abuse, well, guess what? You get abused. And if you think it's okay to be overworked and underpaid, well, guess what? I'll let you fill in the blank. I'll let you guys fill in the blank, okay? The changes you need to make may not be easy. They may not even happen that quickly. But and not only that, but you might have to dig yourself out of a big hole to get there. But you can do it, and it'll be worth it. And the work you put into it, that is going to make it even sweeter. I wish I could sit down with you guys. I really do. I wish I could. I always say this on Zooms. I wish I could go to all of your doors, knock on your door, and just give you a hug and look in your face and tell you that I believe in you because I do. I know I did it. And if I did it, anybody can. I promise you, come spend 1 week with me and you will be like, girl, she did it. I can too. Okay. If you had a difficult time and you don't feel good about yourself, I want you to tell yourself that you do have value. You matter. Your life can change and you can make a difference. And no matter what kind of background you have or where you come from, no matter what, you can do this. I don't care what traumas you've suffered or mistakes you've made. You can learn and grow and you can become the person you have the potential to be. I promise you. I did. You just need to believe in yourself to get started, you guys. And every time you take a step, think a positive thought, make a good choice, practice something new, a small discipline. You're moving one step closer, I promise you. Just keep moving forward and keep believing. So that's it. That's what I've got for you guys. I hope you wrote those 10 things down, because I promise a lot of you may not be moving right now because your belief level sucks. Let's just be real. It sucks, and you've been doing nothing to improve it. And until you realize that 99% of this business and your success is self development, until you believe in the Lavelle product, until you believe in your plan, until you believe in your leaders, team, the people that have done it before you, until you have 100% belief in that, you're probably going to stay a 5 or a 6, right? You want to be a 10, right? You said we said you can't be a 10 if you don't believe you're a 10. If you believe you're just a 5, then you can't go past 5. You can't. So you guys, thank you for listening to me. I'm going to hand this over to Katie, because I know she had some things that she heard on a Zoom or a book, or I forget, Katie, what you said you wanted to share.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, so I actually want to piggyback off what you said, and I think it was how you went first. I feel like that's good, because I feel like what I have to say to follow that is, the limiting beliefs, you guys, and the personal development. And here's the thing too is, and I'm guilty of doing this, is we become personal development junkies, right? Like, I'm not saying not to do it. I love reading. I love hopping on Zooms. I love learning. I love listening to podcasts. But we have two legs of this. Okay. So we have our personal development, but then we have our action. And so if you're just personal development, oh my gosh, words, you know what I'm saying? If you're just like zooming it, like zoom, and you're on every single Zoom and you're listening to all these podcasts, but you're not applying anything that you're learning, you're not gonna do much, right? You're not gonna have the success. You're not gonna see the results, because we're just too busy developing ourselves, and we think that we can personally develop ourselves into a paycheck. Where yes, a big part of this business is personal development, but also it's action. And so if you guys don't know my story, when I started, our team ran to the top. I mean, we hit 80K 3 months in and 200K 7 months in. And people will ask me, they're like, Katie, like, how did you do it? And I honestly can look back now and go, I don't even freaking know. I don't even know. I just took action, right? I didn't know the compensation plan. I didn't know the ingredients. I hadn't tried any of the Plus Line products, I think, until I was at least 80K. Like, I literally had just tried the form for the first time 4 months ago. Okay. And I love it. But I was just slinging those 3 steps. I didn't care about the ingredients. I didn't care about like the science behind it. I didn't care about my perfect post. I didn't care. I was going live when my stuff came in. I was slinging samples faster than Lavelle could get them on my door. I was being excited, and I was just getting people on Thrive. Okay. GPOT. I was getting people on Thrive. And that is what created massive momentum, and that's what created massive success. I signed up a woman, oh, bless her. She's like literally the sweetest person in the world. Her name's Sandy. I signed her up last month. So she's only been here, I think, like 45 days. She is at like 80% of hitting 12K this month. And she's actually number 1 right now on the leaderboard for the $50,000 grand prize. Okay. For the E60 contest. And in one of our chats, somebody was like, oh my gosh, Sandy, what are you doing? And she goes, I don't know. I'm just getting people on Thrive. She literally has no idea what she's doing. She's like, she didn't even understand her back office yet. She'll like message me about her back office, and she's like, I don't even know, but like, I just gotta put this order in. This lady at work, I've been talking to her, I'm giving samples out at work, and she doesn't care. Okay, so remember that ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. I don't care how many podcasts you listen to. I don't care how many Zooms you get on. I don't care how many books you read. If you're not applying it and you're not getting people on Thrive, you're not going to see the fruits of that labor. Okay. So actions make things happen. Okay. Reading a book is not going to put someone in your inbox. Going face to face on your stories, talking about what you learned in that book might put someone in your inbox, right? Sharing that value, like Lisa had said, will put someone in your inbox. Talking about what the 3 steps are doing for you will put someone in your inbox. But sitting on this Zoom right now is not going to put someone in your inbox. Take the action. Okay. I heard this one, I love this, that planning turns to procrastination. And I'm also guilty of this as well. I will never I'll never come at you with something that I also haven't had to have that real talk with myself about too, because I'm human, right? And I'm still learning as I go too. But how many of us, if I show hands, because 2 of you guys have your cameras on, how many of us have sat down and tried to write up a post or tried to follow up, or there was a sale? Oh, little cameras are coming on. Yes, thanks, Christy. I saw your face pop up. Thank you. Okay. So, how many of us have sat down and we try to make up our post, or like a perfect post, or our perfect stories, or our perfect follow-up, or a sale comes out, right? Never fails. Every single time there's a sale, my inbox is flooded. How would you follow up? How would you word this? How would you say that? How would you message these people? And I'm just like, message them. Get on, voice message them. Hey, just wanted to follow up with you, see if you had any questions. We just launched a new challenge called E60. I'm super excited to do it. You just take the products for 60 days. I remember that you were interested. What do you think? Like, it's literally that simple, right? And so we plan. I'm gonna plan the perfect post. I'm gonna plan the perfect follow-up. I'm gonna overthink everything. And I know that this team, network marketing, I think, is like predominantly women, right? We do have some massive men teams, but we're predominantly women. And I think it's like a hardwired into our brain is that we are just overthinkers. It's just what we do. And so we overthink ourselves to death. We overthink ourselves out of posting. We overthink ourselves out of following up. We overthink ourselves out of going live. The longer that you think about something, if you guys have never heard of the 5-second rule from Mel Robbins, I highly suggest that you look it up, read it. She has a podcast. You could do it on Audible. I don't care, but while you're working out, like, fit it in there. It basically says that when you have a thought or an action plan in your mind, you have 5 seconds, and it's going to go one of 2 ways. You're either going to talk yourself out of it, or you're going to do it. And so if you have something come to mind, I'm going to go live. Okay. I'm going to go live. And you sit there and you think about it, and you think about it, and you think about it. You got about 5 seconds before you talk yourself out of doing it. Stop overthinking it. Stop stalking people's social medias for their posts. Stop stalking people's stories for what they're talking about. Who cares if so-and-so highlighted this sculpt today? I don't care. If you want to highlight the balance, highlight the balance. I don't care if this person's talking about form, peptide, and collagen. I don't care if collagen isn't your jam. Go talk about the thirst. Stop overthinking and overplanning, because you're going to paralyze yourself and you're going to pause your business. Okay? People need to hear from you. Your story is your superpower. Your experience and your testimony is your superpower. When you're trying to be somebody else and you're trying to speak to everybody, nobody hears you. Okay. So speak to your network, speak to what's authentic to you, speak your story, stop overthinking it. I don't care. Listen, I have a girl on my team. She's at 80K. Okay. This is going to be proof. I'm going to call her out. Her name is Brittany. She's an 80K, and I'll read her post, and I'm a grammar person. Like, I have to spell everything right. It's just like who I am. And she's not at all. So I'll read her post and I'm like, girl, you spelled like 17 things wrong. And she's like, get off my back, Katie, get off my back. But she's an 80K. She'll go in her stories and she'll typo in her stories, and she don't even care. She spells stuff wrong. She's like, I don't care. It's fine, whatever. Like, they get what I'm saying. She's like, if they don't understand what I'm saying, then they're not my people. And she went 80K. She just doesn't care. She's herself, so do that. Don't paralyze your success because you're procrastinating. Okay. Another thing that I hear is, hey, I'm not confident enough to take action. I'm not confident enough to go live. I'm not confident enough to talk about the business. And here's the thing. Who's guilty of saying, well, I can't talk about the business because I haven't made a lot of money yet? Right? How am I supposed to talk about the auto bonus when I'm not driving a car? How am I supposed to talk about making weekly checks and putting my bills on auto pay when that's not me yet? That's not my story yet. That sounds just as silly as saying, well, I can't go to the gym until I lose weight. I can't eat healthy until I lose weight. Right? Oh, I can't share about the business until I make money. Well, here's the kicker, you guys, is you're not going to lose weight until you eat healthy and hit the gym or move your body, not vice versa, right? You're not going to make money in this business until you talk about the business. So it's like a catch-22. I can't talk about the business because I'm not 200K or I'm not rolling in it yet. But we forget that 99% of us started for something small. I started literally just to be able to take my husband out on a date night because he was working to support us. I wanted to pay the water bill and the gas bill in 1 month, right? Like I wanted to pay all my utilities in 1 month because we would rotate which ones would go unpaid. My utility bills are like $300. Like that's literally all I wanted. Okay. And so don't underestimate that. You don't need to get that green check mark, like, oh, earn your first $5,000 commission check. Yeah, that's great. But guess what? Like, there are things like I have learned through the seasons of growth that money could have never taught me. Okay. And the grocery money and the diaper money. And right now, people, you guys, life is expensive and I don't see it getting any cheaper anytime soon. So share about those things, share about those small wins, and you'll gain the confidence over time. So action creates results, right? You take the action, it creates the results. You get a result, you enroll a customer, you sell a mini, you enroll a promoter, right? You get your results. What happens when you get your results? What happens when you sign up a customer? You're on cloud 9. You're motivated. I just helped someone. I got a new customer. She's talking to her sister. She's going to buy for free. I just signed a promoter. I just sold 3 samples today. Like you're on cloud 9. You're motivated. Okay. Action produces results. Results produces motivation, and motivation produces courage and confidence. The more motivated you are, you take the action, you get the results, you get the results, you become more and more motivated. The more motivated you are, the more confidence you have. You ever notice that when you're motivated, you're like, oh, you're like, I can fight an alligator with my bare hands. Like you're just excited, right? That's how my husband was the first day he thrived. It was hunting season, and he was like, I'm gonna catch a deer with my bare hands. He was so confident. Okay, so you're gonna become more confident, and it all starts with action. Okay, throw your excuses out the window. And I say this with love, but there is somebody out there with more on their plate, making more happen in their business because they want it bad enough. Okay, your excuses will never do anything for you. Your excuses will not grow your business. Your excuses will not get trial packs out the door. Your excuses will not help your team grow their business. Okay, and growth is progress, right? Don't look at growth as the numbers in your back office. I think that I've grown because I'm a little less shaky when I go live now. Okay, I'm still pretty shaky. Like I'm not there yet. I still get the nerves, but growth to me is the fact that I can sit in front of a camera now and talk to people and not want to like poop and throw up at the same time. I can get in front of a room of people that I don't know and not turn into like a clam. Okay, that used to be me, and that's not anymore because I've done the action, I've gotten the results, and it's made me more confident. And so growth is progress, just a little bit of progress at a time. Okay, whether it be I'm not scared to go live anymore, I'm not scared to talk in my stories anymore, I'm not scared to go face to face anymore, I'm not scared to talk about Thrive in person anymore with a lady at the checkout register, right? So that's progress. It doesn't matter what your PPA is. Stop looking at the PPA. Okay, stop. I know that it's bonus season, and I know that there's a leaderboard, and I know that there's like ranks and everything, but like I'm telling you, I don't look at the numbers in my back office. I really don't. I look at progress. I look at growth, like the growth that I've had over, X amount of time. I look at the amount of people that I've helped. And so everybody grows differently. Don't compare yours to the next person's. And just know that 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 years of massive action can literally give you a lifetime of freedom. Like literally give you a whole lifetime of freedom. And isn't that worth it? Because at my old job, I was making $10 an hour. Well, making $11 an hour, but $1 was under the table. So I was making $11 an hour. I was working 6 days a week. I don't even know what minimum wage is anymore. It's probably more than that. But I was making minimum wage, and I would still be there. And I can tell you that if I stayed making that same wage, I would have died, literally died, never making the income that Lavelle has already paid me. Okay. And so that is worth it to me. That is every shaky live. That is every, oh, well, I'm super uncomfortable, but I'm going to talk on this Zoom tonight, and I'm going to share my day 1, day 3, day 5, and day 10 with my potentials and my team's potentials, right? Show up, do it scared. It's going to be messy. It's going to be ugly. You're going to fail forward, but massive action is what's going to create results. Stop overthinking it. Like Lisa had said, you have to have those beliefs. I had to have a come to Jesus moment when I literally was stopping myself from that next level because I really didn't think that I was worthy of it. I'm just if you've ever met me in person, I'm loud, I'm obnoxious. anytime music comes on, like my butt starts moving. I can't help it. Like it just happens, and it's embarrassing sometimes. I was in Texas, and I'm just like walking, I just go like this. It's just who I am. It's just who I am. And so I never thought that this little like old Katie, teen mom, high school dropout, married her high school sweetheart, would ever be on the way to becoming a millionaire award recipient. You know what I'm saying? But here we are. And I had to really kind of break through those limiting beliefs and go, you know what? Like, and it really took me to is like getting to events, number one, like be at Palooza next year if you weren't there this year, because hanging out with like Lisa and Jamie Pekka and like Kim and let's see how else I said, Aaron Aponte, Courtney Glacier, like these are all people that we look up to on social media. And Amanda Arnett, Chaz, right? Amber, but you get into a room with them and you see them shaking their butt just like you are. And you see them dig it, like Lisa, digging into her dessert at Mexican. And I'm like, oh, Lisa, like I see you, I like you, right? Like you see that these millionaires are just like you, and they're just like me, and they're just like everyone else. And so that really, for me, is what helped me break through that barrier of like, you know what? Look at Jamie Pekka. She's dropping F-bombs. Like that is my kind of woman, and she's a millionaire. Like if she could do that, I could do that. And so that's where I had to get to events. We're doing 1,000 events in 1,000 days. There's tons of stuff going on. I know there's one in Florida coming up. I know there's one in Texas. Check your updates for an event near you, and definitely get to one, break through those limiting beliefs, and then take massive action. And that's all I had, Lisa.
Oh my God, so good, all of it. I love when you said saying like with the whole gym thing, like I can't go to the gym because I'm not skinny yet. Like I can't, I can't talk about the auto bonus because I'm not a 12K yet. That's ridiculous. Like it's those limiting beliefs and those things you're telling yourself that are really stopping you guys. So I hope you guys took a lot away from tonight, because it's all about action too. Like you can believe all day long, but if you're putting no action behind it, you're still going to stay in that same spot. And I also love what you said about, 3, 5, 7, 10 years of massive action is going to get you a lifetime of, what was your exact words?
Freedom.
A lifetime of being freedom. Like it is worth it. You can't expect things overnight. And, here's the deal. There's nobody on this Zoom that's been in over 5 years, because we just hit our 5-year mark if you started when I did. Like nobody's hit 10 years yet. There's nobody that is on here that has hit that limit of, I've given it my all. I've treated this like a business. I've worked it the best I can. No one can say that. I can't say that. But at some point you have to make a decision. Okay, this is where I'm going to change what's been holding me back and stopping me. And I'm pretty sure all of you on here know what that is. Whatever that is for you, whether it has been the belief, are you looking at yourself like you're a 5, and because you will never get to 10 if you are. Like, you probably know where those places are in your business that you haven't been consistent with, or you haven't worked your hardest, or you haven't stepped out of your comfort zone. And there has to come a time where you have to go, I'm going to. Like, today's the day. The first step starts here. And if it never comes, you will never get there. So it's pretty simple. It's like, okay, I want this. I'm going to make it happen. And here's the thing is, I'm not going anywhere. Katie's not going anywhere. Like, we're going to be here. Like, you can go at your pace. That's what I love about network marketing. If it's going to take you a little while to get out of that comfort zone, to get to that next place, that's okay. But I just don't want you to give up. Like, just have the expectations of, this is what I'm willing to give. This is where I'm at. This is the pace I'm going. And don't be upset with, I guess, the progress is what I'm saying. If you could be doing so much more. At the end of the day, though, look at where you are. Somebody said, I think it was Amber Mainquest, she said, add up like the month. Don't look at this week's paycheck. Add up the whole month. Don't look at just this one bad week, or don't just look at this bad month. Like, add up the year. And I was like, wow, that's eye-opening. Because
Can I say something about that too? I did a training for my team about this, and that's the thing is you can make every single paycheck impactful. I don't care if it's only $20. Like, what if you get a $20 paycheck? Here's the thing: 99% of people are gonna go sit in line at Starbucks, or they're
Right.
gonna take that $20 and they're gonna go to Target. Okay, but what happened if you took those paychecks for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, some months? Okay, $20, it's $80. Doesn't sound like a lot, right? But that $80. I don't know about you, but my husband and I both have Straight Talk. Our phones are $45 a month. Okay, that would pay for both of my phones for the month. You can make those paychecks count. Don't take that $20 or $50 check and just go stand in line at Target and buy a bunch of stuff you don't need. Let those checks sit in your account for a month and then go pay your gas bill with it and talk about it. Make it impactful. Your checks can actually make a big impact. You just have to utilize them differently. Don't be afraid to let them sit there. Transfer them once a month and then do something with it that's going to actually make a difference in your life.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, exactly. You're not looking, don't look at this one day, this one week, this one season. Look at when you started with Thrive, when you started with Lavelle, what has it done for you since that day? And for everybody, that answer is different. For some, it may be, I just have more friends now. I feel like I have a community. I have, I love the people I'm meeting, and I get my product free. Like, that's awesome. That's better than where you were before you started. Like, sometimes I think we just are focusing on one moment or one bad day or one bad week or just a bad situation, and we're not focusing on, this is where I was and this is what it's done for me. And it doesn't have to be this like, oh my gosh, I've been in 5 years and I'm not a millionaire yet. That's ridiculous. Like, it for everybody's different. Everybody's goal is different. Where you want to be is different. So I want you guys just to focus on, you know, where were you before you started Thrive, before you found this company, before you, met these people, and where are you now as far as where your mindset is? For a lot of you, it could just simply be you're starting to self-develop for the first time in your life, and you're healing parts of you that you never thought you could. Like, I just want you to focus on those things and know that you're moving in the right direction. It doesn't matter. You're not Katie, you're not me, you're not Amanda, you're not anyone else on this Zoom but you. And as long as you're happy with your progress, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And if you're not happy with your progress, then guess what? You get on these Zooms, we're going to give you tips, and then it's your choice to get out there and act on what you're being taught and pushing yourself forward, stepping out of your comfort zone. Those are all the choices you have to make when you're ready. But we're here. We're not going anywhere. And will say this till I am blue in the face. I believe every single one of you on here, whatever that goal was for you coming in, maybe that goal was, I just want to be a 12K. Maybe that goal is I want an extra 500 a month, or I just want that auto bonus, or man, I want to retire from my job. Whatever that goal was for you, I believe you will reach that goal as long as you do not give up. And that for you, at your pace, you are doing something daily that's going to move you towards that goal. I don't know the time frame, but I know that it will come. So
Lisa, do you remember last year at Palooza there was a 12K that walked the stage as a millionaire?
Yes, like that was such an eye opener for even me, because sometimes you get in your mind, oh, if you're walking across the stage as a millionaire, you must be a 200K. And
No, if you walk across the stage as a millionaire, you persevere.
yes,
That
there
was
was a millionaire
amazing.
that walked the stage as a 12K. There was a couple that were 40Ks. Never have they reached 200K. And the moral of that story is guess what, guys? If you stay here long enough and keep going, you can walk the stage as a millionaire as a brand promoter. Like, you can do that. It may be 20 or 30 years, but it can happen. And guess what? You're not going to make $1 million doing quitting. Like, guess, pretty clear answer. You are not going to ever make extra cash, change your life, move forward personally, mentally, physically, in any way if you quit. You won't. And I think that's the exciting part about all of this, is that, yeah, we don't know the pace you're going to go. We don't know when you're going to run into those right people. But what we do know is that you are going to be in a different place in 5 years than you are today. So am I. So is Katie. We're all going to be in a different spot. And I can promise you it's not going to be for the worse. It will definitely not be for the worse. Well, you guys, I am so grateful that you did get on tonight and
for those of you that plugged in, kudos, good job. You're on the right track. I do want to say that. And the goal now is get your team on. Get your team on with you. Get them taking notes. Get them excited. Get them growing and learning from other leaders on this team that did it, that are where they want to be. So thanks, Katie. I appreciate you for hopping on.
Welcome.
And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same link. Save it in your phone. And we'll have some new people on sharing, and you'll definitely need a notebook. Thanks, guys. Have a good week. Thanks, Katie.